This video contains gratuitous use of profanity and uncomfortable pauses to compensate for lack of professionalism and original thought. Viewer discretion advised.
Live from Krampus Castle, we bring you the Nerdy Manroom show with your host, Hassel and Monster. Monster, it's Christmas week, baby.
It is. It's also, I feel like Snow Jive from G.I. Joe's Arctic Tundra out here. I am in the part of the country getting hit with the, what they call it, the Arctic weather, is actually what they actually called it this time. Instead of a polar vortex, now it's Arctic weather. It's which is why I'm wearing a hoodie, because even though it's not quite cold enough in the house for it, it's cold enough to not have, too cold not to have anything on with some sleeves. And I don't own any long sleeve shirts besides hoodies and jackets. But it's a balmy -3 outside right now with a wind chill of -20. So, yay.
Yeah, we'll let you have that. We'll enjoy our South Georgia cold, which is 28. So we'll stick with that.
Yeah, well. But with it being Christmas week, we did want to try and get an episode out. And I know we won't have a lot of Geek Week updates because I have been on the road traveling, so we're going to skip that this week. But before we get into anything else, let's go ahead and thank our sponsor, The Zone Collectibles. You can find them on the internet at thezonecollectibles@gmail.com and on Facebook at The Zone Collectibles, or in their store at 305 Main Street, Tifton, Georgia. Visit them for all your nerdy needs, from comics to Legos, trading cards, toys, games, and more. Help them support the local artist community by supporting their cause of bringing unity through community. Fandoms unite. And with that, we do have a very special Christmas episode this week. We have Santa Daniel from Dane Comics coming to provide some updates from their universe, and we'll skip straight over to that now, and we'll be back in just a moment.
We are live here with the owner, creator, and founder of Dane Comics, the icon itself, Mr. Daniel Garcia. We promise there's a live person behind it. So, Dan, how you doing? I think we lost him.
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
I'm back. Let's get my AirPod in.
And
man,
Hassel,
you got a lot going on.
And Hassel, you completely forgot to say that this is Santa Daniel bringing us presents of updates for the
Santa
new year, because this is the Christmas episode.
He's bringing all the ho-ho-hos.
You see what I have to deal with, Dan?
Hey, he's got to be your yin to your yang, right?
Yeah, we all offset each other.
That's right. That's like me and Carrie. We offset each other all the time. I'm a little nuts, and she's nuttier, so it's all good.
That's the way to be. That's the way to be. So
yeah, man. Yeah, we got some great stuff going on. David, I appreciate you guys. Hassel, sorry. Thanks for having us on, you guys. Monster, appreciate you guys having me on again. And I say we because we have we're joining forces with Vexa Comics, and I want to give them a shout out. Jamar Dyer on Facebook and Instagram, and Vexa Comics. They've been fantastic with wanting to help, with publishing and with distribution and advertising, and then of course I can't forget Fox, who we were just talking about a moment ago, from Fox Footcrafts, who has been my savior, and because of her, we've been able to get back on track with printing books and getting stuff shipped out to all the backers. We're late with distribution, but you guys have no clue, or maybe you do, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know about when creating comics, or I would imagine with creating anything really. So I hope I didn't steal your thunder or interrupt you.
No. This is what we need, is the peek behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I can't speak for the creative side of it, but we both Hassel and I work in logistics, so just a matter of distributing and getting something into people's hands. We understand very well, and it's horrible at this time of year.
Yeah, no, and it's for anyone that's creating comics, or anyone that's listening to this that wants to get into creating comic books. I'll just tell you now, it's not an easy task. It's rewarding because you get to see your product at the end of the day, getting distributed and created, and you get to see it on paper, and it's great. But the task that goes behind printing, having stuff drawn, inked, lettered, colored, it's challenging, So, and a lot of money goes into it, a lot of finances, and I was away from social media for a little while just because I needed to disconnect. That the hobby became a job, and once you let that happen, it stops becoming fun. I don't care how passionate you are. So I took a little bit of a break there, and then obviously I need to fulfill all the backers, them having helped. So I got to fulfill that, and I don't like leaving debts unpaid. So I contacted Fox and Fox Foot Crafts and said, hey, I really need your help. And she said, absolutely, let's do this. And she's been just fantastic with helping stuff get done. And then after that, that it's that resurgence, because now you realize that you're not alone. And Hassel, I know you and Monster have been you guys have been great. So is Kevin from the Zone Collectibles. All of you guys have been my support system. But again, not knowing what goes on behind the scenes, having that support system is really helpful. So if anybody's planning on doing comics, find yourself people that can help, that know what they're doing, that are supportive, and just get to it. Is the easiest way I could put it.
Scott, it's almost like watching your children grow up. I mean, there's growing pains, but there's the joy of seeing it come to fruition. Because I mean, I didn't get to see the very early stages of Cyber Ronin. I've seen the amazing product that has come out of it, but I have got to see some of the very infant stages of some of your new stuff that you got going. So to me, I almost feel like a parent with you in some of those things you've shared with me. So is there anything you would like to share with our viewers and listeners of some of the new stuff you got going?
Yeah, well, first I want to thank you for always being there for me, because you've been so supportive.
Oh, you're welcome, brother.
And I mean that from the heart. I know it's been many late nights when I've you and I are texting back and forth at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and that goes back to the support system of like, hey, what do you think of this? And look, man, it's okay to say, hey, that sucks, right? Like, it's okay to do that. And I encourage people that I work with all the time, even in my professional life. I encourage people to say, hey, if that's stupid, tell me. If that's dumb, that's not going to work. I appreciate that more than like a yes man, So
Yeah.
to me, someone saying, hey, Dan, that's dumb, goes a long way, So, yeah, man. So we have some great stuff. I'm a big fan of anybody, and me and actually the creator of Vexa Comics, Jamar. We were talking about this the other day. That if you're a fan of comics, usually someone that's a fan of comic books is more likely to create things, and then want to see those creations come to life. So, Atomic Vamp is something that we had been working on for a while. We actually have 19 pages of that done. So that's going to be next. Cyber Ronin #2 is in the works also. Maiku, I know I'm saying his name wrong, but Maiku has been fantastic with getting those pages completed. And he's gotten the first 10 pages done in #2.
Wow.
And then he's done a great job of getting a lot of it done. Again, it's just a matter of like, it's just the timing, the finances, it's all that stuff. But creating is easy, because like for someone like me, like you guys on this call, creating is simple. It's the rest of it that's difficult, and then even creating can have its challenges. But Atomic Vamp is, like I said, we got like 19 pages done. Roberto Art is the one that's doing the art on that. He's an amazing Mexican artist. When I say that he's been extremely helpful, he's like another Dana Black, where both of them have been extremely helpful with creating and helping get these ideas off the ground. And then we have Diana Noriega, who's our colorist on Atomic Vamp. And then Saul I know this is it's a stage name. Saul has been our colorist on Cyber Ronin. All those people have been just.
We've had technical difficulties.
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you are.
You're back.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
No, and I'll share this real quick just for the listeners that Dan is actually out playing Santa for his work team today, so he's on the road, which is why we may have some technical difficulties as we go through. But we promise he is there and he is talking to us.
Yeah, Monster, can you hear me?
Santa
Okay?
Slay don't always have 5G.
Yeah, we can hear you now, sir.
All right. So, hey guys, I apologize, man. I'm sorry. It's just the holidays are crazy.
Oh no, we fully understand, and you are playing Santa Daniel, so you got to be all over the world. So it's going to happen. We're going to lose some signal here and there.
No, I apologize, man, and I'm stationary now, so hopefully I can wrap this up with you guys. So Hassel, I know that I'm kind of giving you the long-winded answer, but as you could sense that there's a lot of passion coming behind what we're doing. Atomic Vamp is next. That's a story about a cybernetic vampire who gets imbued with these abilities from let's just say from like the netherworld, in which allows her to it grants her certain vampiric type abilities. I won't give you guys too much information on. I can just tell you that the pinups, the covers, and
They're
the
amazing.
material, and oh man, it's gonna blow a lot of the independent stuff out there out of the water. It's just so great. That's going to be, we're going to hopefully advertise that in the next couple of weeks as soon as we start shipping our Cyber Ronin books, which are, I just got all my books in today for the first 21 people that donated to the lower tiers. They'll be getting all their stuff hopefully within the next couple of days. Mr. Kevin over at the Zone will, and then Atomic is next, and then last but not least for the year, other than little things that we have going on here and there, Hassel, you and I, is Rock Wraith, which was again, I give Hassel a lot of credit for this. Him and I were up till late at night, and Dana Black helped me with the creation of it. It's a rock star who his band wants to see the band, get bigger. They feel like they're stagnant in their career. They're kind of washed up. They've made their money. They're washed up rock band from like the 80s and the 90s. And they sacrificed their main singer to the netherworld or to the hell world. And then I actually use one of Hassel's characters and to kind of bring some other stuff to fruition later on for him and for us. And when they sacrifice him, he gets imbued with the same abilities that Atomic Vamp gets imbued with. And then he kind of goes on a tear, getting revenge, and then kind of playing his guitar, but like in a Rock Wraith format. So it's actually pretty cool. And then he's kind of torn between, because when he comes back from hell, it's been like a year. So, and he has a daughter, and I kind of made it that way because I have daughters of my own. So I kind of felt that I wanted to make it personal. When he comes back, his daughters are grown up, and then there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes of the book that you guys will see as the readers. But I can't wait for that either. The art looks amazing. Dana Black made the original art of it. I got Lee Gaston, who's on Facebook, was an amazing designer. Ariel Medel, who does Evil Ernie, is doing a bunch of pinups for us. And then Roberto Art is the main artist on that as well. So it's going to be some really great stuff coming out, guys.
And it looks, what you shared with me looks so fucking cool, man. Like I'm excited. Just from my point, I mean, I got to see it in its infancy, so it's like watching a child, and then being able to you get blessed me with the ability to help you a little bit. So I love it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you guys have been everyone Monster. You've been so I know it's kind of like the end of year type of thing, but Monster, I want to thank you also for always having me on. Whenever I need to promote something or just to be on to help you guys. And in the inside cover of Cyber Ronin, we did give you guys a shout, throwing in an ad to help you guys out also. So that's just my way of saying thank you.
Thank you, bro. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. And Dan, I'll jump in for just a second, because I wanted to share one thing, because we do our year-end type of awards thing, which we're doing next week. And as we were putting it together, we wanted to make sure that we said that we give you and Zyber Ronan and all the respect and give you one of our honorary Excelsior awards. The one thing we couldn't do was actually put you in the nominees for what we consider when we do the awards, just because we knew we'd get accused of nepotism and favoritism because you are part of our family here. So we wanted to make sure here we let you know that we do consider you one. The only reason we didn't include you there is just because we knew we would get called out for it.
No, dude, no worries, man. The sentiment alone is like getting that Christmas present that you weren't expecting, man. So thank you very much. It's the thought that matters. So thank you so much.
You're definitely an Excelsior Award winner, and like Monster said, you're part of the Nerdy Manroom extended family. I mean, so you're definitely part of the team.
Thanks, man. And I'm looking forward to we're doing our best to get up there in March. Hassel, I know you got some stuff going on in March, and I hope that we get to see you when we're there. We're going to go see Kevin at the Zone Collectibles. I cannot speak enough about that guy and his family. Kim, Alex, and Kevin over at the Zone Collectibles in Tifton, Georgia. Man, I'll tell you, man, what a great bunch of folks, and we love them so much, Carrie and I, and we can't wait to get up there again for his, I believe it was his 5th anniversary.
Yep.
It was 5th anniversary, right, Hassel?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so
he's got a lot of big events for that weekend. I was speaking with him just last night about it, so he's pretty pumped.
Yeah, man, we can't wait to get up there again, and we've Carrie and I have taken Tifton, Georgia, as like our 3rd or 4th home. I guess is the way of looking at it, man. We love being over there with you guys. You guys are always fantastic with us.
Well, we can't appreciate you enough for sharing your time with us when you do come. So hey, brother, it's a 2-way road, and we're very, very, very appreciative.
Absolutely, you guys. Yeah, man. What else is going on with you guys? Anything else? Anything else exciting coming for 2023?
Well, you may or may not have heard we are coming to Roku TV.
I did hear that. I did. I'm super pumped. I'm hoping to be a part of that at some point in time as well. I would love to be on with you guys.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll get a picture of you that time.
Yeah, man. No, listen. When I'm there again in March, we'll be there together. Well, hopefully Monster can make it, and we can all be together and take some pictures. Well, of all of us.
We got to do this, so we have to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'd like to have you on early on as we get into the new year with some of the new episodes and stuff too. I know that, like you said, this time of year is hectic. And like I was telling House earlier before you got on here, I'm up here where we're getting all this Arctic weather, so I'm kind of like snowed in for the rest of the day, basically. So.
Oh boy, yeah, man. Yeah, my daughter just made it down from New York a week ago, and she just missed the snow, but she's getting used to that weather. She's living that superhero lifestyle up there with the. Yeah, it's funny. She's living near the park, so I'm like, man, take pictures of Central Park. She's literally living across the street from Central Park. Her dorms are there. And I'm like, she's like, oh, I'm so scared to walk down some of these alleys. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like a superhero story. I'm like, that's so freaking cool, for me to hear that you're living in New York where all the superheroes that we grew up with, did a lot of their crime fighting. So it's like a nerd moment for me, whether she doesn't understand why, but it's a nerd moment for me.
Do you get to live vicariously through her?
I do, my superhero life. Yeah. So man, it's exciting stuff.
So one thing we were going to ask, we'll put you on the spot here. Do you mind if we share some of the art that you've shared with us? He might have hung up when he heard share.
Nah, he wouldn't do that. He'll be back. He is traveling around the world, man. Got to give him a little leeway.
That's Slay's catching hell.
I'm back, guys. I'm back. Sorry. I'm back. But yeah, man. Anything else that I can do for you guys, or any way that I can be helpful? Let me know.
Well, I guess I was asking him before the signal cut out on your sleigh. You cool with us sharing some of the artwork for your upcoming projects on the show today?
I would love for you guys to share whatever you got. I sent you some stuff from Bexa Comics as well.
Yep.
And I shared some of my stuff. I'm actually excited to see what people think of all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I know Hassel shared some with me yesterday. So we were thinking, hey, as we do this interview, maybe we'll pop some of these up as we're talking about them and let the general populace see some of them.
Oh man, I would love it. Absolutely, please share away.
Then they can be as excited as we are. So tell everybody when can they expect the Kickstarter maybe to kick off for Atomic?
So Cyber is getting shipped out between this week and the middle of January. So once that happens and people start getting their stuff, I'll feel a lot better about doing a second Kickstarter, because I want to satisfy one before I'm done with the other one. So Atomic will, pardon me, Atomic will.
Well, everyone, unfortunately, as we told you, Santa Daniel was out delivering his presents and working with all of his elves to get everything going. However, we all know that there is a lot of winter weather happening right now across all the states, and unfortunately, we had some connectivity issues, and Daniel had to drop off a little bit early. But he did want us to make sure we told all the fans out there, thank you very much for taking time and investing in the universe he's creating, and giving all your love and support to him. And he's going to be back on with us again pretty soon, and we'll get to talk some more detail. Thankfully, he was able to share some new updates with us, and we've got some pictures that we were able to put in here as well. But with that, that brings the interview with Daniel to a close, and we're going to pop out of here and pop back over to the rest of the show, and hopefully you enjoyed the interview. And again, thank you, Daniel, for coming on, and we really appreciate your time. And sorry we had all the technical issues and we couldn't keep you on longer, but we do appreciate you coming in. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview with Mr. Daniel Garcia. It was really interesting to hear some of the updates he's got coming up. And with that, we're going to go straight into Nerd Out. And Hassel, sticking with what we got going on right now, speaking to Daniel and speaking about Dang Universe, I don't really have a lot of questions about that for Nerd Out, but what I did do was delve into something else that's comic related, and it kind of ties in because we get time off for Christmas usually, or at least I do, because that's when I take my time, and I know you try to do the same. But spend a lot of time.
I'm actually enjoying PTO today.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually, after we get through recording, I'll be enjoying some time from the TV watching Christmas specials, as well as a lot of old animated shows. So in that same vein of the comics and animated, my question this week was, what comic from an independent company, and when I say independent, I only mean not DC and Marvel. We can still include Image, IDW, even some of the bigger ones there, Boom. But which comic from any of those other than DC and Marvel has not had an adaptation, and how would you like to see that be made? What would you like to see made, and how would you like to see it, whether live action or animated?
That's a good question. It's a really good one. Wow, dude. You got your thinking hat on this morning, Monster. Wow. Okay.
I had a long 7-hour drive to get home because of traffic on a couple of days ago, so I had plenty of time to think about one.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not even a cup of coffee deep right now. So I'm thinking Christmas with Spawn. I mean, hear me out. You have the devil's favorite demon, basically. He's on Earth doing good, and he provides a wonderful Christmas and Christmas dinner for the homeless of Crime Alley.
That would be interesting.
I mean, even Al Simmons has to get in the Christmas spirit. I mean, come on. Maybe he battles the Grinch. Like Mal Bolger has a Grinch he sends after him, and he has to fuck him up. I'm a little chubby thinking about this.
That's an interesting one. I will tell you that I went the same route of an Image Comics item, but I was thinking more along the lines of a full animated series with some Christmas episodes in it. But I went Young Blood, and I'd like to see it as an animated versus live action. But I'd like to see it done in like that X-Men style, and like when the X-Men did their Christmas specials each year, the couple that they did. I'd like to see Young Blood do something like that. I don't really have a plot for it. I always thought that it was a cool concept for a book, so I'd like to see it as a cartoon.
Would they show up in the Morlock tunnels giving poor Leech a blood transfusion?
Quite possibly.
That's what I'm talking about.
You never know with them.
I'm down for that.
So how about you? What would you have for question this week?
Okay. So it's Christmas. We have all had throughout the years one Christmas where there was just something you really, really wanted. And you just knew your folks was going to get it that year, or you hoped Santa was going to climb his fat ass down the chimney and put it under the tree. What was the one gift that you wanted that you never got?
That I never got for Christmas, or just never got at all?
Never for Christmas. It was something you was Really hoping it was under the tree one year.
So there was two, and I got them both for my birthday, which is only a month away because my birthday's in January. But I think they were probably already purchased for Christmas, but they were pushed to Christmas and birthday stuff.
Spread
was
the wealth.
Pushed. Yeah.
Spread the wealth.
But I wanted Rodimus Prime and Ultra Magnus.
Ooh.
I got them both, but if I remember correctly, I got them both for my birthday. But I didn't want them at Christmas because they were in the Sears catalog, and I was like, I need that Rodimus Prime.
How awesome was a Sears catalog? Kids today don't know.
No, it's real easy to go online and look and just click and hit the button now. Back then, you had to look at the book, you had to find the number and the letter, what page it's on, you had to call.
There was just something
right.
magical about getting that out of the mailboxes. I would always get it before my grandparents got it. And I'd already be thumbnailing stuff and circling stuff with a pen, hoping they just stumble upon these pages and be like, oh. It didn't ever really fucking work. I can go ahead and tell you this, but yeah.
Yeah, my grandmother would let me go through and pick stuff out and show her which ones I want, and then she'd call and order some, and some she wouldn't. I do remember ordering, because I remember ordering and being happy, but also disappointed, because when the X-Men figures were coming out from the ones from Toy Biz, and I ordered a set from the Sears catalog that had Iceman, Sabretooth. I don't remember the other two. It was a pack of 4. I remember Iceman and Sabretooth were in it. And I got the pack of 4. She ordered it for me right then. It wasn't a gift or anything. It was just a, hey, okay. It's one of those things that, okay, just because. And I was so happy when I got him, especially getting the Iceman, because he had that color change feature where you put him in the freezer.
Yeah.
And I was an Iceman fan from Spider-Man and Amazing Friends and the X-Men books, but I was disappointed that they did not come on a card. They just came packaged in cellophane wrap inside of a cardboard box. And then later on, I see it in the store actually on the card. I mean, this was months later when I saw it, because they were hard to find back then other than KB Toys. And we didn't really have one around. But yeah, and then I was like, man, I would have liked to have had that card for him too. But
Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
So what about you? What was the one thing that you wanted that you never got?
The USS flag.
Oh, see, I didn't even try for that. It was just too big and expensive.
You know what? In my youth, I might have been a little asshole and kind of would hope for these things. But I'd made a campaign for it. It was almost reminiscent of Georgie and the Red Ryder BB gun. I done pitched it to my grandparents. I done pitched it to my mom, even my deadbeat dad. It wasn't happening. So, and my final hopes was Santa. As that was the year. That was the year.
So since you brought up the flag, let's take a quick aside before we do our outs out of here and everything and our shout outs. But on G.I. Joe, because they had the best vehicles to me. Everybody else had. Some of the others had some better maybe play sets, like Castle Grayskull was a better play set probably than some of the others. But vehicle wise, Joe's had everybody beat. Was there any other big G.I. Joe vehicles you got that you really enjoyed or
yeah. I can't remember the name of it. As a matter of fact, this Christmas just stands out head and shoulders above the others. It was Christmas '89. And the reason I remember the year is because I actually got the Batcave as well this year. But I want to say it was a Dreadnought vehicle. For whatever reason, it was just super cool to me. It was kind of flat and laid out. It was tan with red doors, and it had this Gatling gun that's come out the side. These little landmines that would drop behind it, and had a couple of hatches that swung open that you got down to the cockpit. I remember it was a Dreadnought vehicle or a Viper vehicle. It was Cobra, obviously, but so for whatever reason,
probably a Viper one.
Yeah, it was just that particular Christmas. I think it was around '89. Because that was the same year I got the Batcave and all that shit, and I had a bunch of Michael Keaton Batman toys, and man, you couldn't tell me nothing.
I remember I had the Tomahawk, which I really enjoyed. I don't remember when I got it or what reason, but I love the Tomahawk helicopter. I wish I still had it. The Tiger Force vertical takeoff and landing plane that they had, which was really just a Rattler repainted as Tiger Force. Yeah. I love that plane for whatever reason because I love playing with it, how you can flip the wings, and then the biggest one I had, though, I did not have the flag, but I did have that G.I. Joe headquarters, the one that stacked on top of itself.
Yeah.
I don't think it was supposed to be called the Pit. I can't remember what it was called, but it was stacked. You could stack it down and dry it. Armadillo maybe or something like that, and you could stack it
Yeah,
up on
I
top
know.
of itself, and it was a tower then that you could play in.
Well, see, I got like big stuff like that, but you typically was for my birthday. Mom would spread it out, and I get something big at like in April for my birthday, and then Christmas. That was kind of how she balanced it there. So I just remember this one particular vehicle as a Christmas gift. I mean, I got a few others like the GI Joe Locust. It was one like around '91. It was a later one. But I really enjoyed it. It was like a little mini solar helicopter.
I had that
the blue shield on the front. It was like super cool. I thought, because I always put Hawk in it. It was the same year Hawk had the jetpack. So
I had that one too, and I think it came with a pilot who was supposed to be somewhat reminiscent of like a Wild Bill, but not a Wild Bill. He didn't have a cowboy hat. He had like a pilot's hat or something.
He got his ass out of there real quick. Hawk was my pilot. And he'd always get blowed up in the fucking air and had to jump out with his jetpack, and because it had little wings and it would come out off that jetpack. It was really cool.
Those were the days. I remember a lot of that stuff. Oh, but with that, before we get too nostalgic here, and it is the holiday season, and we've all got celebrations to enjoy. Let's do some shout out to some of our friends. Again, thank you, Daniel Garcia, for coming on today and interviewing with us and giving us an update as usual. But make sure you check him out on his Facebook at Daniel Garcia and on Instagram at DGarciaComics. Make sure you check out our friend Chris Daly, host of the Fueled by Weird podcast. You can find him on Instagram at Fueled by Weird and on his podcast, Fueled by Weird, on YouTube or wherever you find your podcast, where he discusses all things nerdy and weird. Content creator and autism activist Mandy Lynn, a.k.a. Kushimama. You can find her on Instagram at Kushimama and on YouTube at Doodle's Toy Report. And she's still got quite a few items going up for sale on her website as well. You can check most of that out at her Instagram page. Mr. August Aguilar from Strange Film Studios. Remember, keep an eye out for their project He Comes to Kill. And I see that they're still doing some festivals, and he's got a lot of new interviews coming out on his podcast as well. So make sure you check them out. And don't forget about our extended Nerdy Manroom family member, Big Rob, our roaming reporter. You can find him at Big Rob's House of Entertainment and No Chinese Food, where he gives you stories and entertaining tales from the road as only Big Rob can.
But I know who will have some Chinese food today.
I don't know, because ours is delivery, and it's like I said, it's an Arctic tundra out there, so we probably won't get any delivery today.
I will brave the cold for the cat.
Yeah, I can't. Ours is a little too cold for that. I'll just go cook something in the kitchen. But remember, while you're checking out all our friends and eating your Chinese food that Big Rob does not supply, go check out our sponsor, The Zone Collectibles. You can find them on the internet at thezonecollectibles@gmail.com and on Facebook at The Zone Collectibles, or in their store at 305 Main Street, Tifton, Georgia. Visit them for all your nerdy needs. Help them support the local artist community by supporting their cause of bringing unity through community. Fandoms unite. And forgive my stuttering today, but it's getting colder in here for some reason because the heat finally kicked off, and I'm like, why?
Oh.
But while you're checking all those folks out, remember to check us out too. And Hassel, can you tell everybody where to find us at?
Man, you can find us on the face page at Hassel Hutchison. You can find us on Twitter, Nerdy MR Show, and you can find us on Instagram at the Nerdy Manroom Show. And the most obvious place, you can find us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell. And soon, January 1st, maybe the 9th at the latest, you will find us on Roku TV.
All right. And thank you, everyone. That brings this episode to a close today. But join us here next week for our 2022 award show. Until then, live nerdy and have a Merry Christmas.